morning.
Good morning.
I just want to say very quickly, all of you, welcome to the Steve and Captain Evil podcast. We have not done that in a while. Then we had a very interesting comment that I would like to address. It's a good one.
It is?
I just want to remind people that if you are coming to this podcast to see me do stand-up or just be funny, that is not at all what this podcast is. At all. This podcast is
were they hating on me saying I'm not funny? Because that's usually what it is.
Yeah, they were like, when she joined the act, and it's like, this isn't an act. This is a conversation, a weekly conversation about life, about our marriage, about husbands and wives, about our day-to-day struggles as husband and wives.
Yeah.
A weekly update of what we've been doing.
The behind the joke.
We also talk about raising our children and the ups and downs of being parents.
We talk about the business of comedy too.
Balancing our careers and our lives. So this is not, don't get me wrong. I think we find ourselves being funny throughout the podcast, and I think people like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? Then in that case, I want to say thank you to the ladies who send me such sweet messages, because I've actually been getting a lot of messages. They don't say that I'm funny, but they say that like they just discovered you because of TikTok or wherever they found you. And then it turned them onto the podcast. And I've been hearing from people who are binge watching the podcast and loving it and laughing.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm really, really loving. And I think, again, Renae and I do not have a TV show. Are we working on one? Yes. But this is kind of our reality show. It really is kind of our sit down every week, go through our week, talk about the ups and downs of our marriage and the struggles. So it's our therapy session, really. It really is. It really is like a therapy session. And it does make me very, very happy that people do say, wow, somebody said, I love y'all's love language. Oh,
I read that comment too. Our very aggressive love language, she said.
Yes, very aggressive love language.
Aggressive love language.
And we do have an aggressive love language. And I think most people do, because being in a marriage is not easy. Yeah. Right? So, again, just addressing the fact that if you're coming here because you're expecting me to do stand-up, come to the shows. Yeah. That's when I do stand-up.
Oh, I always tell people too, when they say I follow the podcast and I found you guys found you on TikTok, and they tell me they're going to a live show, I'm like, you are in for a treat. Because if this is what you know of Steve Trevino, or clips are what you know of Steve Trevino, seeing him live is the best. Just sit there in a theater and just or in a comedy club and laugh for 45 minutes, an hour straight is like the best.
Well, and very quickly, because we could not do this podcast without our sponsors. Yes. And we started off with Miss Dora, our only eyelash sponsor, and now Aztec Chevrolet. I got to call those guys because we're sprucing up the Sprinter van, and because of the 4th, I have not been able to follow up. But to the guys at Aztec Chevrolet and ladies, we love you. We thank you. Aztec Chevrolet, give those guys a chance. And of course,
did you see the comment that someone said they named their dog Aztec?
Yeah, they named their dog Aztec.
That was so cute.
So they're always going to think of us. But the Pick Cherries, of course. Yes. Download Pick Cherries and listen to podcasts like never before. And then our friends at Old Salt Coffee. OldSaltCoffee.com, Trevino 10, and you will be helping us help veterans, because it is a veteran-owned company, and they're giving us $1 for every bag of coffee that you buy.
Someone asked me, they said that they were like, what is this thing you're doing with the coins?
Yes. So we are going to get a list. I already have some that we need to mail out.
Okay.
So I got to give those to Rick. Those are coming out. But if you get a monthly subscription, we send you a challenge coin, and there's only 1,000. And we've already done about 8 or 9 or 10 that we have to ship out. So, and then forgive us for shipping out a little late, because we're trying to figure out a better system, but they are coming. So thank you so much. This is, we forgot to turn on that light.
Oh, I'll get it.
Yep. Thank you, love. Is that better? I don't know if that's better, but this is kind of I was thinking about, okay, what do we want to talk about this week? And we have so much to cover. So much to cover. I want us to talk about, I'm so proud of you. I know, and I got to tell you, love, like we are growing in our relationship.
Yes.
And first of all, I don't even know how to begin to talk about it, so I would just throw out what happened. Okay, Renae and I are very big difference in personalities.
Yes.
Right.
I was gonna say I learned a lot about myself this week.
Well, Renae is if we're gonna have people over, I want it to be perfect. It has to be perfect. I want quality time with people, and I am a machine gun. I want everything all the time. Everybody coming over, everybody hanging out. I don't worry about the details. I just want to have fun. And before we get there,
I was gonna say, even right now, I'm interested in how you articulate it versus how I articulate the situation.
As life goes on, there's so many people, and I'm just one of those people that, I guess because I was a gypsy and I always did what I wanted, that I found myself in very close relationships with people. Frank, for example, my older cousin, admired him growing up. He was my older cousin. We were roommates for 2 years, where we were together almost.
I didn't realize that. How did I miss that?
He was still living with his.
You crashed on his couch for 2 years?
No, he crashed on my couch for 2 years.
Frank crashed on your couch for 2 years?
Yes.
I'm so sorry, but there's a baby deer right out the window with little spots. It's so tiny. And
it just did a big jump. It's called a fawn, honey. It's a fawn.
A fawn. Sorry. So Frank slept on your couch for 2 years?
Yes. I used to tell Frank, I'd be like, hey, Frank, why don't you get your own apartment, dude? You're here every day. And he's like, why? I got one. And I don't have to pay rent. Right? So Frank and I we're very close. We still are very close. We're very similar, me and Frank. And we just haven't had that opportunity.
You know what I learned about him this weekend that I did not know? He has a therapist, like a degree.
Yes, he has a master's degree.
He's a master's to be a therapist. And I told him this weekend after they said this, I was like, oh, that's why you love me, because you come over and you psychoanalyze Steve and I, and you really feel for me. I had no idea.
Not
this
for
whole
you.
time
He feels
you've
for
been
me.
Psychoanalyzing me.
No, but Frank is somebody that I had become very close to, who I admire, who me and him are very similar people. We just because of career and life, we're not able. And I feel like because of COVID and because things are in fast forward now, there's a lot of those relationships, because I work on the weekends, that I just haven't been able to. That
really fell by the wayside unintentionally.
Right.
Totally.
Tim and Clarissa, and the Kim and Tito. The list goes on and on. I don't want to forget anybody, but if they're not coming to the shows, and even now, that's the scary part, is that even now when they come to the shows, they have to share me with everybody. Before we would go to Vegas and it was kind of quiet, and I would do the shows, and then afterwards we would have quality adult time.
Yeah.
And so even now, if they come to the show, the only way you get quality us time is if you come to the house.
Yeah.
So it makes it, and even my sister, Victoria, who has no soul and a black heart, she was like, I was so fucking mad at you, and you didn't call me for a month. Because my sister and I, we talk every week.
Yeah.
We're very close. We talk all the time, just to touch base, just to laugh, just to find out what's going on. So even my relationship with my sister and her girls, had fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
Roland and Whitney. Roland and his dad. I haven't seen his dad and hung out with his dad in forever.
Yeah.
Roland and I used to go to the ranch together and spend time together, and we just haven't. So, when we were not throwing a party this weekend, all of a sudden, we had planned, it was just supposed to be the two of us and Frank and Lucy and their daughter Brooke. And then all of a sudden, Roland's like, hey man, our plans fell through. Do you care if we come? And I'm like, well, of course not. I miss you.
Yeah.
Like, please. And then Victoria.
So they pulled an RV and they parked on the back property in their RV.
Cousin Eddie showed up right in his RV. Shitter's full. And then my sister was like, hey, we'd like to go up there for 4th of July. And then Pat and Monique, who I've been friends with forever, they were like, well, we're coming to Texas that weekend. So we ended up with all these people all week. And I
In my head, I thought it was just 5 days. Not just 5 days, but I was like, I'm going to have guests for 5 days. Like I was gearing up. I finally counted this morning and I was like, oh, it was 7 days of guests. Like straight 7 days.
We had 7 days of guests, and Renae, and you can jump in here, but Renae gets anxiety. Renae doesn't like, we grew up very different.
Do you know what? You always articulated as like, I don't like people.
No.
And I realized this week, it's not that I don't like people. It's that for you, well, one, like I hear you, it's very rare you get a weekend off. And that's what jives with most people's schedule. So your opportunity to spend time with these people is limited. It's like a small window. And so I've prepared, in our years of marriage, I've prepared myself for the fact that when you are home for a weekend, it's going to be nuts. Like that's just how it's going to be here. But you like an audience. And I realized that this week.
No.
Yeah, they are your audience. But that is, and I don't mean to say it's like an ego thing. So I take it back.
No, I like people around.
That's energizing for you.
Yes.
Yes. The audience, the people is energizing for you.
I like to have drinks with just them.
What do you mean?
I want to have drinks and play cornhole and hang out and have laughs with just them.
Yes, but it's always the more the merrier,
Yes,
and
let's hang out.
the crowd is energizing for you. For me, I'm white. Like I'm tapped out. It's not that I don't enjoy people's company. It just doesn't. I guess I'm an introvert in that way, and you're an extrovert in that way. In that it doesn't give me more energy. It makes me more tired.
Well, but you get anxiety. I see the anxiety, and then when you get the anxiety, then you lash out. And what I'm trying to say is that this weekend you were so amazing and so sweet. And for the I shouldn't say first time, but for the first time I felt like you were like, you know what? I'm gonna put my anxiety aside, and I'm gonna be there for Steve, because I know Steve wants this weekend. I know he enjoys it, but I want you to know that for me, it made me appreciate you so much more.
Yeah.
And it made me go, hey, now I want to give you something.
Yeah.
And in the past, you would be grumpy, you would have anxiety, you would get upset about something, and then I would just go, well, fuck, man, what's her problem? And man, she's pissing me off, and I'm over here trying to have a good time, and she's over there being grumpy, and then it just leads to me going, well, then fuck it. I don't want to do something for her then, Yeah. And then this weekend, because you were so amazing and so giving, and there was a moment where you were about to lose it.
Yeah.
But we both did a good job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
me
yeah.
going, how can I help you?
Yeah.
What can I do to help you? What's giving you the anxiety? And you were like, well, I'm trying to make this charcuterie board, right? And if you could just help me do that, and it is for 4th of July, then I'll be happy. I'm like, okay, I'll help you.
Yeah, because you think that it's like me wanting to do everything is what stresses me out. And it's like, no, actually, that's the part of entertaining and people that I enjoy. I love putting out a good spread. I love making the red, white, and blue Rice Krispie treats. Like, that's the fun part of it for me. And if you can help me so that I can do those things, then that's nice. I enjoy that.
Marriage-wise, it was a very successful weekend.
You know what? I also feel like part of when we have guests like that for so long is that I also don't get a minute to myself, I feel like. And I think that if I...
No, I helped you do that too.
Yes.
Where I go, hey, we woke up, I think it was Friday morning. I go, get out of here. Just go.
Yeah.
You want to go do your nails? You want to go shopping? Like, everybody understands. Nobody's upset. If you want to get up and go spend Friday most of the day to yourself, go.
Yeah. Because otherwise I feel like I'm stuck at home for 7 days straight at the whim of like what everyone else wants to do because you're hosting and entertaining. And it's like, if I can get an hour in the morning to exercise, or even 30 minutes in the morning to exercise, that's like huge.
But you being so good and so nice to me this week made me then send you text messages like, hey, I know it's stressful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you. And I feel like in the past, you would let the anxiety take over. you would get upset, and then I would just be like, well, screw it.
Yeah.
Right? Screw her, screw it. Now we're in a funk, right?
But I think too, what was helpful was that like you saw the struggle on my side. It's not that I don't want these people here. It's not that I don't want to make my husband happy. It's just, it's a lot.
No, you
for
love
me.
our friends, and you are so good to our friends, and they love you, and blah blah blah. You just get anxiety with the people. I love the people.
Yeah.
I love all of it. I love to.
I realize that's why I think our marriage works. And I told you that this weekend is that the introvert in me, when we are in social situations and there's lots of people, I don't have to be on because you fill that role. And so I can just kind of stand there and smile and be nice. And that feels more comfortable to me.
But to address you saying that I want an audience, it's not that I want an audience. And let me say, one of the things that I really, really enjoy, I love sharing this with people.
Yeah.
There's a moment where I step back and I saw all these kids in the pool, and I saw my sister in the pool, and I saw everybody having a good time at our house, whether it was on the playground or in the barn, playing pool or whatever. I'm like, that's why I do it. For others.
And I love that too. That's why I love Easter, because it's one day, Easter Sunday. You go to church in the morning, you show up at my house at a certain time, and everyone kind of leaves by the end of the day because you got school the next day. Like, I like it in spurts. 7 day stretch is a marathon.
I just enjoy, I really enjoy sharing what I've done with friends and family.
Yeah.
Right? I really love having people over and going, hey man, I live a really cool life.
Yeah.
I would like you guys to experience that.
Yeah.
I would like you guys to be a part of this really cool life that I've created here. This house is amazing. The land that we live on is amazing. The barn is amazing. The chicken coop's amazing.
Yeah.
I would like to share that with y'all. Yeah. So a lot of it is me also saying, man, come check this out. Like, I think it's cool. And then to hear them go, this is awesome. Steve, like, why would you ever leave? It's like a vacation, you know?
And you're like, exactly.
Yes, exactly. And Frank was there. Man, I mean, I'm 18 years old with my own apartment, right?
Yeah.
Trying to do stand-up. Frank always talks about his college graduation party. I did stand-up at his college graduation party.
Did you really?
Yes.
What jokes did you tell at his college graduation party?
But Frank was like, dude, you got, because we had a karaoke machine, and I would do stand-up, right? And then his ex-wife would be like, hey, we want to hire Steve to come do stand-up at our house, and I would. I'd take my little karaoke machine, and, I would do stand-up, but Frank was so encouraging of it, and I always say Frank's one of the funniest cousins.
He is. He's hilarious. And he's so quick.
Well, that was funny because all you girls that were married to us were like, y'all are all disgusting. You guys all have a dick joke coming. Everything is sexual.
What did Lucy say? Lucy was like, it was funny when he's young. Now he just sounds like a dirty old pervert.
No, but you and Lucy are the same because y'all both sit there and you go, Frank. And then Renae, Steve. But they have this huge smile on their face. Like, that was inappropriate, but hilarious at the same time. Steve, Frank. Like, that's how you would hear. Neither one of you would get up and leave. Neither one of you would be like, don't ever do that again.
And offended.
But every time, Frank. Steve. I mean, there was probably 50 innuendos, dick jokes. I mean, you name it. They would say something to me and Frank were like, boom. And then they're like, Frank, Steve. But, I want to make sure that on this podcast, I also praise you for really giving me an amazing weekend and doing that for me.
No.
And you going... And us growing in our relationship to go, for you to be able to go, hey, this is what Steve wants. And I'm going to help him accomplish that.
Yeah.
Right? And then in return, I was able to give you that Friday and go, hey, I'm going to give you this Friday. Give it back.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that when we were nice to each other's needs this weekend, we were a much better couple.
Also, what helped is like, on top of it all, we were potty training Delilah. And that was important to me. And like staying committed to that and not just throwing in the towel because we had all these people was really important to me. And I felt like you stepped up on that too. Like the response I expected from you, I really expected you to say, why did you do it this week? And you chose to do it this week because you knew I had plans and I wanted to have fun. Like I expected you to lash back at me.
No, I backed you up.
And the fact that you were like, didn't complain and you were willing to jump and get on board, that really meant a lot
Basically,
to me.
last week, Renae
it was
said,
important to me.
Renae normally goes on strike and then we have fights. And then this week, she did not go on strike and we were so kind to each other. And I think, well, again, I think that it comes with growth. Right?
I think it's a rare occasion.
No, we got to do better. And I think that we learned from this weekend that we did do better. And not only did we do better, we were better.
Yeah.
Towards each other.
Yeah.
We were better getting through the weekend.
I mean, there was one night I did tap out. Steve set up a big screen outside and some of the kids were in the pool and some people were laying out in the yard and watched an outdoor movie. And as soon as you start that movie, I came up and I whispered in your ear, I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm going to the bedroom.
But that's the thing about me. Like the whole weekend, I didn't stop moving. I set up the movie. I went to the barn. I set up the 150-inch screen in the yard.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, I enjoy working. I enjoy going, hey, guys. Delilah's losing her shit. I love going, hey, I have this 150-inch screen. I have this awesome projector.
Yeah.
I set it all up like a movie. We put blankets on the grass, which, by the way, my grass is perfect. But and we set up we all watched The Sandlot. Yeah. Right? Dad came out. Dad sat out there. I didn't get to watch the movie. I made 50 bags of popcorn, all weekend. Yeah. But I think the main part of this episode that we're talking about is that me and you were able to adjust. And because of that, we were a better couple. Yeah. And I just want to thank you for finding it in your heart to go, okay, I'm going to step it up. I'm going to be nice. Yeah. I'm not going to let the anxiety take over. I almost gave you a gummy. I was like, hey, bite the leg, bro. Bite the leg and just chill. But it was just a wonderful weekend. We went to Schlitterbahn twice in the 7 days. Hung out with, again, really enjoyed. And what I really want to talk about too is I think part of the success of our marriage has been, number one, we like to hang out with couples. Yes. Right? There's not single people around. We hang out with couples. And number two, I had a moment because we all went to go see Parker McCullum at Whitewater Amphitheater. And we rented a limo so that we wouldn't have to drive. Right? And it was date night. We had the kids covered. My sister was going to take care of the kids. We had the kids covered. It was date night. We all got in the limo. But I noticed every couple, like Joe Jackson and his wife, Casey, Jeff and Jess, right? Rudy and Betty, Roland and Whitney, all the couple, Frank and Lucy, all the couples that we hung out with really loved their wives. And, there was a moment because, Joe's company has a box. Yes. And then next to his box is Adam's box, right? And they're also friends with us. But there was a moment, sometimes I feel like me and you are the only ones that dance, right? Me and you hear a song that we like and I want to dance with my wife. Yeah. And we always have this moment of me and you dancing together. I remember that night, several times, I looked around and every couple was holding their wives. Yeah. Every couple was together. I didn't think about it until you pointed it out. But yes, I would say if you look at those couples, it's an instance where they're like in love. Yeah. All of us are not afraid to be in love with our wives. And I think that you meet some couples or you hang out with some couples that they're just not in sync like we are. And I feel like we've surrounded ourselves with couples that are in sync, right? That are not afraid to be with their wives, that enjoy being there with their wives. And then so at one point, and you don't know this, and I might embarrass Joe because Joe is 9 foot tall, and me and him are the same body type, except that he's 6'6", right?
I don't know. Is that
He's
how
a
tall
big
he
man.
is? Yeah, he is.
Very big man. And Jeff's not a small guy. I'm the little runt, hanging out with him. But at one point, I might embarrass him, but at one point, all you girls, because you guys love Parker, right? Mm-hmm. All you girls were up there watching Parker, and you guys were hugging on each other and having drinks together. And Joe looks at me and goes, "Man, does that not make you happy?" He goes, "Our wives are so happy right now." And I go, "Yeah, they are." I go, "That's awesome." And Joe and I, all we cared about was bullshitting and having drinks.
Yeah.
You girls were totally into the concert. And then Joe and I were both feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
And the feeling of, look, our wives are having a great time.
Yeah.
And then when the love songs came on, we'd all grab our wives and we'd all dance, together. And it was really cool for me to go, oh, me and you are not the only ones dancing.
Yeah.
Because that happens a lot. We'll be in Vegas, a song comes on, and we don't care where we are.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab you, we're going to dance, right? But, I think that is also really healthy. And our wives let us be big kids.
Yes. Actually, and now that you say that, I think of all the men that you listed, you guys are all big kids.
We're all big kids. We're dancing in the limo. We're walking by each other, tapping each other in the nuts. We're just big kids, and you girls sit back and let us be big. I mean, Jeff was sweating up a storm dancing to...
I think he pole danced in the limo.
Pole danced in the limo. But I also think it's really neat because I don't think a lot of couples are lucky enough to have that. So I think that when couples like Whitney and Roland and Frank and Lucy see that, they go, oh, this is cool.
But don't you also feel like it's something that comes with age? Is it like a comfortability? I don't know what it is.
Me and you have always been that way.
Yeah? I mean, I know we've always been that way, but we didn't always hang out with couples.
No, but me and you have always been together.
Yeah.
And when we found Jen and Jeremy, it was because me and you
were hanging out together.
We're partying together. Me and you were drinking together. Me and you had another cool couple, Mark and Laura, that like each other, that want to be together, that partied together.
Yeah.
And I think that attracts other people.
Yeah.
To other couples that
But no swingers.
No swingers. We learned all kinds of things about pineapples and
leave the garage door open a crack. Like there's certain apparently there are certain signs.
You want a hot tub? Yeah, no, we've learned all the tricks because we've accidentally done some shit where we're like, oh yeah, no, we're not into that.
That's not what we meant.
Yeah, no, we go to church.
No, you don't.
No, we don't. Well, I pray. I do pray. But it was just so that was Saturday night. We had planned it. We went to dinner.
Yeah, it was nice.
Big shout out to Paco over at Los Fontanas here in New Braunfels, who, man, we got there and he had a spread.
It was so good.
Us.
We need to send him a thank you again.
He's the best, and he's just awesome. But we really, really enjoyed Saturday as couples. And then Rudy's like, "Hey man, I got the bus. I got us a limo bus." He's like, "I'll take care of that. You take care of the tickets." I said, "No problem." Straight up city bus, like no leather seats, like literally with speakers, and they put a crystal ball, a light bulb.
I think it was more of a like bachelor parter bus kind of thing.
If they would have called it trashy limo, that would have been perfect.
But I think Jess said it looked like someone had keyed the side of it.
Yeah, in the windows.
I didn't see
in the windows. Yeah. But poor Rudy was like, "Hey, I got the limo." And don't get me wrong, Rudy, we're very thankful.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Just as fun inside. Didn't matter what it looked like on the outside. It wasn't camo on the outside.
But again, everybody had such, all the couples had such good energy. Nobody was arguing. Nobody was fighting. Right? All the men looked like shit. All the women looked amazing. And I think that there's that too, right? Where.
Rudy was dressed nice. Rudy always dresses nice.
Oh, yeah. Rudy dresses very nice, but we don't. I had my American flag tank top, and you know, but again, I think it is you gotta find those couples that are on the same page.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
We had a blast. And it turned out to be a great weekend for me.
Yes.
Thank you. And again, and then let's talk about this for a second. Like, you know, I get so mad at fucking ghetto dumb people.
Oh no.
What
happened?
Look, do you think I don't want to do fire? I love fireworks. I love them. But unfortunately for Texas right now, we are in the driest July we've been in so many years.
Yeah.
I mean, when I tell you that the part of the grass on my property that I do not water, right? Because we're also on water restriction.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk back there and it is crunchy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like
it's brown.
It's ready to light on fire, literally.
Yeah.
You know, and our neighborhood is out of the city limits. So
we don't have city utilities.
Yeah, so if you're allowed to do fireworks, you can do them here. But it is dry.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, when I tell you people, it is so freaking dry right now. I mean, it is bad.
Yeah.
It is bad.
I brought fire extinguishers just to have, like one in the barn and one here at the house, just because I felt like we probably need fire extinguishers.
So Comal County, where we live in, said, look, you guys can do fireworks, but you can't do the big ones that shoot in the air.
No rockets.
Nothing
with a stick.
Nothing with fins, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, of course I want to do fireworks, but I also don't want to burn somebody's house down.
Yeah.
Because right now you could burn, you know.
Well, I saw that after last week's episode where you talked about being bummed about the burn ban. A couple of wives of firefighters chimed in and they were like, you guys have to realize, like, these are a lot of places, especially in rural communities, are volunteer firefighters.
Right.
And they were like, they're leaving the house like tons of times over the weekend to
and our
put out
issue,
fires.
Our issue here is that we are far from a fire department.
Yeah.
Because we're out in the country. And I have, you know, 8 acres in the back plus the 2.5 or 3 I have up here. And then there's a property next to mine. Well, these fucking assholes are shooting firework after firework after firework after. And I'm like, look, you ghetto pieces of shit.
Oh, Steve.
Like, think about, you're going to burn somebody's house down. And then, I mean, the fireworks are popping right over my house where all my shit is brown, you know, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? And by the way, how do they not sit there and realize that they were the only ones? Other 4th of Julys, you look outside and everywhere you look, man, there's beautiful fireworks popping. 4th of July, I'm looking outside, they're the only ones.
Yeah, that's true. Last year in our neighborhood, we heard a lot.
Oh my God, the whole place was lit up.
Going on. Yeah.
You know, but I'm looking I'm like, guys, what don't you understand about you? So then I call Comal County and I go, I'm total Karen, right? I go, hey, just to be clear, I go, are fireworks allowed? And they were like, no, they're not. Yeah. Right. And they go, by the way, we have several fire departments out putting out fires right now.
Yeah.
And these fucking assholes in my backyard, and I'm just like, do you think of course I want to do fireworks. Of course I do. But you have to do the right thing.
You were so bummed about it. You came back to bed and you were so bummed.
I was like, God, you fucking dicks.
Yeah.
Think of others, right? And then what if our back property starts on fire? Yeah. By the time we get a fire department out here, I'm going to be out there with a fire extinguisher like an idiot? Yeah. You know, and thank God that we didn't have a fire. But I mean, these idiots are doing $3,000-$4,000 worth of fireworks back there, and I'm like, guys, come on. Yeah. Come on. I'm just glad nothing happened. So very frustrated with it, and again, it goes back to do the right thing. Did it feel weird to take a whole week off work? Like, are you itching? Are you like Jonesing and need to get back on stage? Yeah, I'm excited to get back on stage. It was nice to have this week off with family to reconnect, and man, I had a blast. I mean, I was in the pool every day.
Yeah.
We went to Schlitterbahn. You know, I mean, I had a blast, and it was a real good recharge.
Yeah.
For me, you know, and I very rarely.
You needed it. You've been pounding the pavement.
Oh man, and I very rarely anymore get drunk, you know, and so it was nice to get drunk in my backyard,
Be silly.
know that I could pass out. It's like Vegas. So it was nice to let loose, and it's funny because I have the watch, and then the watch will tell me, it'll tell me if my stress level's high.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah,
like, because it's monitoring your heart rate?
Yeah,
you mean,
monitors.
or what is it?
Monitors. I'm drunk right now.
That never happens to you. That was so funny.
It monitors my heart rate, and it'll tell me like, hey, your stress level's high. Well, this week it never got high, so it was really cool. And then I last night before I went to bed, I'm like, man, I just realized like stress level hasn't been high. I didn't get a warning.
Yeah.
So I looked, and you can see your whole week.
Oh, the progress.
Yeah, and I mean, I was on low stress the whole week, and then I looked at the week before where it was medium to high stress.
Yeah.
Right. So it was nice that I just didn't feel a lot of stress this week. You know,
You didn't take any work calls either, I don't think, really?
we took very little work calls. I called management.
Yeah.
I said, guys, please, if it's not important, I don't want to talk about it. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we did see Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think?
It was great. I loved it. I was not prepared for it to be that long. With potty training Delilah, I was anxious to get back to the house because someone was watching her at home. But it was great. I loved it. I mean, it's Baz Luhrmann. So Baz Luhrmann is like big and dramatic and colorful and flashy.
You know, it's so crazy. You know, and again, for me, man, to find out that he died at 42 years old, that's crazy. And then, but what I'm saying is the impact that this man made on our culture, even now.
In such a short time span.
Even now, like, in such a short time span. I mean, Elvis is iconic. Elvis is, you know, you can't even have sideburns without somebody going, what are you, Elvis?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, I've always liked Elvis.
Yeah.
I knew Elvis's songs.
Right.
I did Elvis in a talent show.
It's so, you know what was really cool from the movie is that you always, and I don't know if it's because we go to Vegas often, but like I just associate Vegas with Elvis and all the bad Elvis impersonators in Vegas. And so to kind of put the pieces of the story together and understand, I didn't know why we associated Elvis with Vegas necessarily, but to finally connect those dots.
Connect the dot that he was the king of Elvis, right? I mean, of Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And I was also, just to take a step back, you know, I was so thrilled to be in a theater that was sold out.
Oh, movies are back, baby. Well, at least in South Texas, because it's so freaking hot. What else are you going to do?
But there was an energy, right? When did we go? It was...
Top Gun. We went for Top Gun.
No. What day did we go? It was Sunday?
I don't remember.
When Dad and Sarah got here?
They got here on Saturday. Yeah, we went on Saturday.
No, because we went to the...
During the day.
We went to the...
Oh.
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
But we, you know, when you went, there was an energy, right? There was an energy about the theater. People were excited. Elvis was sold out, right? And it just, for me, I love the movies.
Yes.
I love the movie experience. I like to get my popcorn, right? I like to sit. So it was awesome.
We got it all. The popcorn, the pretzel, the pickle. We did it all.
But the movie, like, and just to, you know, I can't tell you enough how shitty this business is. Hollywood is the shittiest business. And the ways that they fuck you in this business never ends.
I mean, I know all the ways that it happens. I wonder if there's other, I'm sure there's other businesses that are.
I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with getting fucked. I mean, constantly from the comedy clubs and the theaters and the special. I mean, they are fucking you, and it is. And then even Dave Chappelle said it in Inside the Actor Studio.
What did he say?
He goes. There's all these actors going crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the business.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember him saying that.
Maybe it's the business. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's the way that
the machine operates.
Oh my God, the things that I have had to overcome. The ways that, and even today, I sell tickets.
Yeah.
I'm still getting fucked. And I try my very hardest to be nice, to not be a difficult artist, to not have a crazy green room writer, right? And then you sit there and you go, man, I keep being nice and you guys keep fucking me. And I keep being nice and you guys keep fucking me. And it's like, at what point I'm going to lose my mind?
You felt like Elvis.
Yes. So when you're watching the movie and you go, here's the biggest fucking guy in the world.
Yeah.
And he's getting fucked.
Yeah.
And he's getting leveraged.
Yeah.
And it's the constant leverage. They're always trying to get fucking leverage. How do I take advantage of this artist? How do I convince this artist to do this? How do I convince this artist to do that?
But do you think it still happens like on that level a lot where, I mean, here's a poor man where they're like, pills to go to sleep after your show, pills to wake up for your next show, like around the clock?
Well, that's what's so disgusting about it is like, when they say the show must go on.
Yeah. Stab him with something and make him get on stage.
Right.
Like,
it's the machine. They don't care about the human. They care about the machine. This guy makes us money, so let's do whatever the fuck we got to do to keep this guy on stage. So
I mean, it's a movie we saw, so I wonder. I'm so curious, like how much is true.
Me being in this business, I know it's true.
Yeah,
I know it's true. It happens to me. Fellow comedians that should be in rehab or should have been in rehab.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything. The clubs don't say, "Hey, let's stop booking this person. This person is sick.
Yeah.
This person's an addict." They don't stop.
Yeah.
They keep booking them. Turn the cheek. Don't worry about it. Hey, the guy's coming in exhausted, right? Worn out from the flights and the shows and the privates and everybody just goes, "Hey, what do they need?"
Yeah.
And it's sad, So when I was watching this, which by the way, when you see the guy that plays Elvis not playing Elvis, you go, "Is this guy gonna pull off Elvis?"
Yeah.
But then halfway through the movie, you're watching Elvis. The kid was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing to watch. And then, before you know it, you're like, that's Elvis, right? And then you don't realize that, I thought that it was Elvis is awesome. Elvis is more awesome. Elvis is more awesome.
Uh-huh.
Elvis is the king, right? That's how I thought his career went, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But again,
to see it play out alongside significant moments in history, because they do that in the movie. The assassination of Martin Luther King, the assassination of Kennedy is really cool for someone who didn't live through that time period to see how it's all interconnected.
And it was also, really cool for me. You hear a lot of, well, he stole black music. Mm-hmm. He didn't steal it. It was in him.
Yeah.
He grew up in by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, oh well. If you haven't learned that.
It's beautiful.
It's
I
beautiful.
feel like
Watch
regardless of what we're saying about the movie,
you need to watch it.
There's no spoiler alert. Like
no spoiler. Yeah, the story. It's
just a beautifully done movie.
I did not know that he grew up in a black neighborhood.
Yeah.
I did not know the relationships he had with black artists.
Yeah.
Right. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
People always made me feel like Elvis, like people were feeding him black music and he was just doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't what happened at all.
Yeah. No, he was a musician in his bones.
Yeah, he was a musician in his bones. He grew up, that was his influence. That's what he was around, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Him being white and handsome, I'm sure helped his
for sure.
career.
Yeah.
But he did not set out to go, I'm going to steal this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go blow it up.
Yeah.
Right? No, he was like, this is what I love. This is the music that I love. These are the people that I love.
Yeah.
And he was just hugely influenced, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, the movie was fantastic to learn about this general, whoever, Colonel Sanders or Colonel.
Oh, I can't remember
Tom,
his name now.
Colonel Tom or whatever.
His manager.
And I looked it up. I wanted to see what he looked like. Tom Hanks did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Of portraying
him,
that guy.
Yeah.
Right. But man, I love the movie. I'm going to warn you.
I could watch it again, I think.
I do want to watch it again.
And like now that I've had the whole theater experience, I would love to watch it again, like in the comfort of my own home.
And the only thing that bothered me about the movie, and I'm going to get, they're going to come at me. I know they are, is that they added modern music for the soundtrack.
Yes, but I told you it's because it's Baz Luhrmann. He did that when he redid Romeo and Juliet. Remember, it was like all modern songs, and everyone at that time, everyone was like, "Oh my god, I love the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack."
For me, it took me out. I mean, here you are watching scenes from the 50s,
yeah,
and you have modern music playing over it. It just took me out of the scene. You know,
I hear you.
And I would have liked it to stay more true to the era.
Yeah,
you know, so that I could. I don't know. The whole thing could make me feel like I'm there.
Yeah. And
it took me out.
I kind of just want to listen to the soundtrack. Like, I think I might just put the soundtrack and listen to it in the car and see how I feel about it.
It was just, you know, a really cool movie to watch and to see that.
The costumes.
Well, and then you think about it like, you know, after Elvis, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, to lead into this 80s rock where the outfits were ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, Elvis's outfits were fucking ridiculous.
Oh, those belts. There's some belts in the movie that he wears that I'm like, oh, I want one of those.
But you look at it and you go, well, that's Elvis.
Yeah.
He can do that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Prince. Prince would wear heels and you're like, well, you're Prince.
Yeah.
You know, rock stars. If you're a rock star, you can do certain things that we as
you're a comedian, baby. You can wear platform shoes if you want. No one's going to stop you.
Why they got to be platform shoes? I can't wear a onesie. I can't wear an Elvis onesie with a big belt buckle.
A leisure suit.
But it was awesome. It was really, really cool. And I highly recommend going to see Elvis. This week, we're actually leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
To go to
Oxnard.
Then we're going to San Jose. We're taking the family to Oxnard.
Yeah.
And then Renae is going on her girls' trip to
I
Nashville.
am. I'm going to Nashville.
You better Instagram the shit out of it. The girls love it. Everybody loves it when you Insta. By the way, I'm telling you, you want to see the behind the scenes? You want to see the more personal moments? Renae, I am Renae with an A. This girl is the one.
You and I both get silly on Instagram.
No, well, you know, it was funny.
We get silly with each other on Instagram.
We did that video the other day that I thought was going to be funny. And I took it down because people were like, Steve, you're being mean.
What did you say that was mean?
For whatever reason, it came off as mean, so I deleted it.
Which one was it? I don't know.
When you were doing the charcuterie board.
I don't remember.
And I was like, hey.
I remember you saying you deleted a video, but I didn't.
You choose to do this.
Oh.
And then you get mad at me for choosing to do it.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, that kind of, it's like, I delete it. Because I'm like, you know, I want them to know that, you know, I pick fun.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
And I'm not mean to my wife.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm actually very proud of you. We had a wonderful weekend.
Yes, thank you. We did have a good weekend.
But Oxnard almost sold out.
Yeah.
San Jose almost sold out. Then I go to the Mall of America.
I have never been to the Mall of America. Is it like a thing? Like,
It's because
I feel like malls are kind of dying out, you know?
I remember as a kid, well, you have to remember that where I'm going, there's brutal winters. So you want to be indoors.
Inside a mall. Okay. Yeah.
know, it's like South Texas, right? You know, people go, man, I went to the Grove in LA and they had this beautiful outdoor mall. It's like, well, because it's LA.
Yeah.
And the weather never is higher than 80, right? You can't do that shit in South Texas.
Yeah.
And you can't do it up north because most of the time they're covered in snow, right?
Yeah.
So I'm so excited because I remember as a kid, And maybe there was advertisements. Was there advertisements?
Well, no, I remember growing up knowing about the Mall of America. I don't know why, but like, yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing.
Right. And I've never been there, so I'm super excited.
Oh, I didn't realize you've never been.
I've never been to the Mall of America.
You've never performed in Minnesota before?
I have performed in Minnesota, never at the Mall of America.
Oh.
So I'm super, super excited.
Yeah.
To go out there. And then again, here's a market we've never done before.
Yeah.
Let's see how it does.
That's like you're going to Wichita and it's in a botanical garden. Like
First
a theater
comedian.
in a botanical garden.
First comedian to ever do a botanical garden. And again, here I am, the guinea pig, right? I did Crystal Palace in Bakersfield, sold out 4 or 5 shows. Now all of a sudden comedians do Crystal Palace, like they're the ones that started it.
Have you done Wichita? We've done Wichita before, haven't we?
Never done Wichita.
No? Oh, okay.
Never
I'm thinking
done Wichita.
someplace.
So
maybe I'm thinking of Wichita Falls. That's different.
Yeah, we're doing Wichita Falls, Texas.
Yeah.
But we're doing Wichita, Kansas. Very excited about it. We are in a botanical garden, so we'll see. I did a radio interview and they were like, has anybody ever done this before? I'm like, nope. Just me. We'll see how it goes. But I love thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
I love figuring it out. Right?
Yeah.
Because I've had to.
I want to take the kids to that one. I feel like that could be fun.
We can do
I
that.
don't know.
That's a Sprinter van all day, Wichita.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
It's an easy one. We can do that.
Okay, but if you say easy, I think your interpretation of easy and
How far
mine
is
are
Wichita,
different.
Kansas from here?
Let's see.
It's just past Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's a little baby state.
To
Check.
Wichita, Kansas. Okay. Oh, 8 hours and 50 minutes. That's doable. It's like straight up. We just go straight up the map.
I told you. How many? 8 hours?
It says, 9 hours by car.
Told you.
That's doable. That's doable.
I told you.
I know. After Pittsburgh, when you told me Pittsburgh was 15 hours and you ended up 22, I don't know if I trust you anymore. I might keep checking Google Maps for a while, Steve Trevino.
But did you die? That's what I want to
We
know.
haven't used that in forever. Did I die? No.
But did you die?
No, but Delilah almost did. Delilah almost killed me.
And then my diet out the window. Out the window.
Oh yeah, 4th of July. That happens. And when you're feeding that many people, by the end of the week, aren't you just like, no more meat? Like no more hot dogs, no more hamburgers, no more food on a hot grill. Like I just want a cold salad.
I ate so bad. I mean, I'm not much of a. I don't do the sweets much.
Yeah.
Fucking,
I did a lot of sweets.
Dude, you bought those things at Sam's? Salted chocolate caramel squares.
Yeah.
And
they're not like little squares, y'all. They come in a tub at Sam's Club,
tub
the
this
Members
big.
Mark brand. And they're a good chunk of a square and they're delicious.
Rich
and
and
they
Gigi
have
got turned
like
us on
just
to 'em.
enough salt. I know. They showed them to me and I was like,
I finally put them out I opened them up and I'm like, hey guys, fucking eat them. Because
get them out of here.
God, I'd walk by them and be like, oh, well. And then they're not that big, but they're also not, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, fuck it, right? And then
You know what got me was the Rice Krispie treats. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know what it was about the Rice Krispie treats, but I probably had 3 or 4 Rice Krispie.
But I'm going to get back on it. And I'm, again, I did have some comments where people go, Steve, stop worrying about what you look like. Stop worrying about, your health and fitness. Just live better. I'm like, yes, that's what we are doing.
Yeah.
We are not dieting. We are not.
It's just hard because I feel like we don't have a lot of balance in our life.
It's tough, man. We're on the road.
It's work and it's the kids. And I feel like those are the priorities. And then after that, it's just there's not a lot of balance.
No, there's not. And it's tough. But we are doing better. And we have some very exciting news coming up. Raul Western Wear. We will be getting the Trevi shirts in very soon. But in the meantime, go check out our website and all the cool shirts that we already have available for you to buy.
The shirts are beautiful.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
So
excited. When we went to the concert this weekend, someone was wearing a Raul Western Wear shirt.
I think it's so cool when I see people wearing the clothes that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And, they didn't even know.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the guy's name is Blue. And it was so funny because he was like, so you're a comedian? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm a comic. He's like, oh yeah, like who do you open for? And I'm like, well, I don't really open for anybody. I go, I headline. He's like, oh, that's cool. He's like, you're gonna be doing a show like locally at a bar here that we can go see. And I go, well, I said, I'm doing the Tobin Center in San Antonio. He's like, the Tobin Center? Who you opening for? And I'm like, I'm not opening for anybody. I'm headlining. I go, actually, we added a show. He's like, you added a show? He's like, how big is the Tobin Center? And I go, I don't know. It's like 2,200 seats. He's like, and you're headlining? I'm like, yeah, I'm headlining. And then so that conversation ended, and then he was like, you're like our I hear you're like our little local celebrity, and I'm like, yeah, I guess, And then the box next to us just loses their shit. Right? It is you, right? And they want to take pictures and stuff, and then that guy's like, I gotta look you up, man. So then he looks me up and he's like, I'm really sorry, man. You're like really good. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I do for a living, But I always enjoy that, and it always makes me, And Jeff at one point was like, "What the fuck? Like, why would he say that to you?" And I'm like, I go, dude, I'm good, man. Like, it doesn't bother me like one bit.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy it.
Yes, it's fun. It's fun.
Oh, and then I want to thank Eric Q, man. Eric Q was so sweet to us and my family.
Yes.
Our friend at Staunch Hats. Please go check them out.
Oh,
Those
they
hats
make the coolest hats. Little boys, if you have little boys too, best little boys hats.
Oh yeah, because little boy hats are usually garbage.
Yeah.
And they do. Actually, I have one of Cohen's in.
I know his mama wrote his name on the inside of it because they are nice hats. They are good hats. You don't want your kid losing them.
Yeah,
you want it back. That's a good one.
But Garrett did do D-Bat camp with the D-Bat guys, and he was just loving it.
Baseball camp.
Baseball camp. But we got to go.
Yes, we have to go. We have to go. Like, no, literally, the guests left this morning, and I am packing this evening because we are leaving tomorrow.
Oh my God! But it takes you so long to pack.
No, listen, it takes me a long time to pack because I'm packing for me and the kids, and I lay everything out and I pack it all together, and then inevitably then I edit. Then I pull stuff back out, and I'm like, oh, we don't really need this. Oh, we're not really gonna wear that.
That's on you. It's on you. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about before. I know we're late, but
okay.
Look, what I found really interesting this weekend or this week with other couples.
Uh-huh.
And I know that this happens.
Okay, you've been really sweet. Are you sure you want to say this?
No. I do know that this happens.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Where people come up to me and they go, well, we love your act, but actually the things that Renae does, my husband does. And I'm like you, and my husband's like Renae.
Uh-huh.
Right? Renae,
okay.
He's Captain Evil in your stories.
Yes.
And I'm you.
Uh-huh.
Right? So the female is saying, I'm like you, Steve.
Yeah, we've heard that before. I've heard, people have told me that before on the road.
And I never really studied it, or I never really tried to pay attention.
Uh-huh.
But this weekend, because we spent so much time with couples, I was really paying attention to it.
Uh-huh.
Right? And really trying to see. So it was really funny to see.
So what does the male Captain Evil look like?
Well, no,
it's acts like, or what are the traits that you recognize in a male Captain Evil?
Well, I'm the fuck it guy. I'm the don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
I'm the we'll figure it out guy.
Yes.
And you're the planet A personality. We got to have, snacks and meals and,
uh-huh.
what's the plan?
Yes.
So, when you look at the other couples that we were with, it was opposite. Roland, for example, is the plans, and even Whitney would be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask Roland. Roland's the one with the plan. Whitney's the fuck it, don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Monique is the fuck it, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Pat is the no, kids got to go to bed. We got to schedule.
Nap time. Yeah.
Nap time. We're going to miss nap. Kids are going to be disaster, right?
Yeah.
So it was just really fun to see for me that here I was watching couples that the personality traits were
maybe
opposite
that's
of us.
why you were so sweet to me, because you You saw other people. I'm not the only weird creature, Captain Evil. I exist. Other people are like that too.
Well, but it was funny because, when I was asking Whitney, I was like, well, we're going to Schlitterbahn tomorrow. Why don't y'all spend half the day with us? She's like, I don't know. She's like, Roland's got it all figured out. Roland's got the plan. Ask Roland.
Yeah.
Right. And that's weird for me because I'm the one that's like, look, I don't know. You got to talk to Renae. Like Renae's the one that fucking has the plan. And if that plan doesn't go well, we're fucked. Right. So Whitney, it was the one. Then Monique too. Monique was like, hey, well, I don't know what Pat wants to do.
Yeah.
I think Pat wants to go home. I want to stay. I want to stay and party. Pat says we have a schedule. So it was just really cool to see the couples being opposite personalities from us.
Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't say that makes Pat the Captain Evil.
No, because we talked about that when you and I had a moment in the kitchen and we were talking about like yin and yang because we're such opposites, and we do hang out with a lot of yin and yang couples as opposed to people who are really similar too.
Well, but that's the big question that me and you have had.
Yeah.
Is
would it be easier if we were more alike?
Is it easier if we're both the same? But I don't think it would be because I do need law and order. Right? And you need to loosen the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? So we complement each other in the fact that, hey, Steve, it can't always be loosey-goosey, fuck it.
Right.
Right? And for you, it's like, hey, Renae, sometimes fuck it.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that we complement each other in the fact that we encourage each other to be better.
Yeah.
Right? You can't
No,
just...
what did I think Monique said it's like two half normal humans make one normal human.
One normal human together. But I think because opposites attract, it's because we do subconsciously like the traits of our partner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Subconsciously, I do like...
I'd strive to be more loosey-goosey and less anxious. That would be the goal, sure.
I also need to write
But sometimes I feel like on the opposite side of that, sometimes there are some instances where you are like so loosey-goosey or whatever you want to call it that it has the opposite effect on me. It makes me like more anxious and be like, we've got to be more by the book.
I know, and
that might have been early in our relationship. Maybe
but I'm the same way
where
I'm like, if you're too schedule, I explode and go, fuck, dude, chill the fuck out. Why do we? So that's what I mean. I think that's why this weekend for us was so good, is because we met in the middle, right? And you said, okay, I'm not gonna be schedule. Yeah. Right? I'm gonna be a little more fuck it. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, Renae, I'll help you with you. Yeah. And then we
okay, but can we both agree that 22 hours in a Sprinter van is too much and 7 days straight of guests is a lot too?
Yes, it is a lot. And I appreciate you for that. And guess what I'm going to do for you? Girls trip in Nashville. It's coming up. 2 weeks.
Thanks for planning it, baby.
You're welcome. I already called all your girlfriends. They're all meeting there. I'm going to go ahead and pay for everything. You just go ahead and have a good time. But I do have to write a joke because every mom this weekend, y'all were having this conversation about these kids always, mom. Why not dad? Why don't you go to your dad? Why don't you ask your dad? And it's like, well, you don't realize that if you want to run shit and you are the final answer, the kids they're conditioned to learn that.
No, you're just MIA. You're like running around out somewhere, and I'm there with them.
No, that's not what happens, because they won't ask me, because they'll ask you, because they know that you run shit. You want things your way.
Garrett plays it. Garrett will ask you for something, and then if he doesn't get the answer he wants, he'll come and ask me.
Yeah, well, we need to put a stop to that crap. But my point is that if you want to be the boss, don't be mad that you get all the questions.
I don't want to be the boss. I just want to do it my way.
That's being the boss. So don't be the boss, and then when everybody comes to you for questions, right? Like I have dead plants outside right now. Dead ones.
Where?
Because you wanted to plant them by the chicken coop, and it never got done. No,
they're over here on the side now.
They're dead.
No, my daddy planted them over here on the side.
Your daddy?
Yes.
But I can't plant them because, God forbid, I plant them in the wrong place, and then I'm digging another hole. Literally. So
Digging another hole.
literally. But my point is that.
What's your point?
Is if you want to be the boss, don't be mad when you get all the questions.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But all in all, wonderful weekend. Wonderful. I had an amazing time.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
And then, just so I did have somebody go, hey, you guys did not talk about Uvalde.
Oh, you know what? I saw that comment too, and I didn't know how to address it.
First of all, to be very clear, I do not get involved with politics. I don't. I do, however, care about humans. I care about people. I always try to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Me and another friend who has a business in Uvalde, were planning on doing something. Timing wasn't right. Couldn't figure it out. And now we're talking about, and everybody raised money. Everybody raised money. A lot of my musician friends did benefit concerts and raised money. Baseball players, celebrities were all giving money. And one of the things that we thought about and we still might do and hopefully can do is I was like, man, I would like to go out there and just do a free comedy show. Completely free. Mm-hmm. Whoever wants to come, comes, right? And all we do is laugh. And all we do is do comedy. And because again, I don't do politics.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear, well, Steve, with your influence, look, I do a lot with my influence. I don't do politics. All right. But I do care about people. And I would like to do.
And healing.
And using laughter to heal. Mm-hmm. So I would like to do a free concert out there. We are kicking it around, trying to figure out where and when to do it. And again, timing has to be right. I can't just show up, and go, hey, it's time to laugh. Well, things have to be at the right time.
There's also a community that's grieving, and how do you handle that, and when do you handle that?
And ultimately, when it comes to politics, I have my own politics. I have my own politics where I want to do the right things, and I care about human beings. And I obviously back our military, our police, our first responders, because I think that that's important, and those are really good people in our communities. So with that being said, hopefully we can do a free concert, stand-up show out there to make people laugh and bring a little joy to a community that has been hurting and grieving.
Yeah.
But we love them, and they are in my prayers. We think about them all the time, because they are literally in our backyard. With that being said, we love you guys. Please continue to support Steve and his Captain Evil. And again, this is a podcast about life and family, raising kids, fighting through a marriage, surviving a marriage with two people who should not be together. But I didn't compliment you today. I like this Black Widow look you got going on.
Black Widow. Thank you.
You look
I know you and I matched today. Look at us both in our black sleeveless.
Our black tank top. Just doing it up because it's fucking 1,000 degrees.
It's so hot.
We love you guys. Enjoy your summer. My favorite time of the year is summer, as you can tell by my tan.
It's already going to be halfway over.
Dude, the other day they were like, Kinsley was doing something and she was like, 7-4. I was like, oh my God, dude, half the year's gone. Half the year's gone.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep.
And you and Rebecca better start planning Delilah's second birthday. You have to start doing it because I don't want last minute shit, dude. It is her big birthday party. We love you guys. We're having conversations offline. Please follow, tag, subscribe, and check us out. Thank you. Later.